All right. What do I want it be, Ryan the Great? And today we are live for a free agency stream, guys. And yeah, it is our first time using StreamYard. So yeah, we're gonna try and play around with a couple things. As
Yeah.
we do, we might use it for videos as well. I'm not necessarily sure. We will see. But today for this free agency stream, I am joined by a very special guest, Anthony Sorgi. Welcome
What's up, everybody?
to Ryan the Great Streams.
I mean, couldn't ask for a better day here in Philly. Couldn't ask for a better time to be a sports fan. I mean, from the Sunday of this start of the league year and start of conference week to the end of the Masters, I guess you could say in April, and then beyond that into the summer, talking about the prime time for sports. Here, I guess in the USA and around the world.
Definitely, we are all looking good, and free agency has kicked off. We've had a couple free agent signings. We do come on the air with a little bit of news as Darius Slay has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're getting to the Eagles in just a bit. We also come on the air with more news, as if I can pull it up here really quickly. DeMarcus Lawrence
Yeah,
has signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Seahawks. The Cowboys losing a lot of players
Seattle
as
making
we
moves.
speak. Yeah, Seattle is making moves in free agency. Um, and yeah, so that is the news we come on the air with. And we should all be ready to go in just a second here. I will transition. Uh, so the way we will operate this stream is we will have we have a slideshow ready to go, and we'll go down the list of teams that have made moves in free agency. There are some teams that haven't made great moves. I think I have about 20 teams on there. So yeah, we'll be talking about the teams that have made some significant moves, and we will talk about where they are at the current moment in time, and how these moves affect the NFL. So let's just get right into it, and a smooth transition over, hopefully. All right, look at that. All right,
There we
so we
go.
will start off with our very first team, which is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have been making moves this free agency. They were able to sign Josh Allen to a record extension, which was 6 years worth $330 million, $250 million guaranteed. They also signed Josh Palmer to a 3-year, $36 million contract. Khalil Shakir, I didn't put him on there, but he has been signed to a 4-year, $60.2 million extension. Joey Bosa, 1 year, $12.6 million. And Michael Hoshet, I think that's how you say his name, 3 years, $24 million. Also, Greg Rousseau, 4 years, $80 million. DeMar Hamlin just re-signed this morning. And Derek Forrest was signed to a 1-year deal as well. Anthony, how have you seen the Buffalo Bills really make moves this free agency, and how are they reloading?
I mean, Buffalo has been consistently on the verge of being a Super Bowl level team. They haven't been able to beat the Chiefs. Every year we say it, and that they're going to do it. It seems like this year, with the moves they're making, they might be able to. Joey Bosa, a huge deal for him, being able to bring him in. And then you look at a guy like Josh Allen coming back, and he's tied for the second highest paid quarterback in the league now per year. Um, it's a good time to be part of Bill's Mafia.
And I'm liking what they do here. I mean, you signed Josh Allen to a big extension. Now, obviously, he hasn't been able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't know. I feel like with the Buffalo Bills, you're not really necessarily coming back with the same team as last year. But you do have Josh Allen, and you signed Joshua Palmer to an extension, which I think is very, very good, based off the fact that you now have a deep threat for Josh Allen. Like you
Yeah,
didn't have a deep threat in the over the course of the season. You lost Stephon Diggs, and you didn't have a deep threat. Khalil Shakir, not so much. He was inconsistent, but you have a consistency guy like Joshua Palmer now. You signed Joey Bosa to a very nice contract, 12 year, a 1-year prove it deal, which I think you could definitely use. Um, to rush a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And your division, I don't really know. Your division doesn't really seem like it's worthy, I guess you could say, this year
Yeah,
of really um, trying to compete for a Super Bowl. You don't know what Miami's going to bring. New England, they're still trying to rebuild, and New York, it's the Jets, so I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to pan out. But yeah, I think these moves were great for Buffalo. You were able to get some guys off the edge. You got your franchise guy locked up, and you have a really great receiver. And if you look at some of the other moves here, I like the re-sign of Rusase, or however you say his name. I like that signing. You obviously got DeMar Hamlin back. You re-signed Ty Johnson to a 2-year deal. I like the moves that Buffalo's been making right now, and I think
yeah,
that they should work for years to come. I mean, you have Josh Allen locked in for like 8 years, something around there.
yeah. Well, and don't forget, excuse me, DeMar Hamlin has he's turned into a really good player. People obviously just know him because of everything that happened a couple years ago. But he's improved into a player worthy of the deal he got. And the Bills I mean, they're going to keep knocking on the door until they're let in and get to the football's biggest stage for the first time, win for the first time, which is something that everyone up in Western New York has been waiting for decades.
I mean, one of these years, I feel like they have to pull it off. I mean, gee,
Yeah,
because it's been so many years. But anyway, let's move on here. We'll primarily just be going division by division here, which means that our next team will be the New England Patriots. The Patriots, they had the most cap space coming into this free agency, and they really, really, really are making an impact here. Some key moves that they have been able to make. They signed Matt Collins to a 2-year, $8.4 million deal. Morgan Moses, a 3-year, $24 million deal. Milton Williams, 4 years, $104 million. Robert Spillman, a contract extension. I don't have the details here, but Carlton Davis as well, 3 years, $60 million. Harold Landry, 3 years, $43.5 million. Also Joshua Dobbs, signed to a 2-year, $8 million deal to back up Drake May for the next part of the season. So yeah, big moves being made in New England, and they are trying to become a playoff contender. Anthony, what are the Patriots? I mean, what's going on here?
it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I mean, Milton Williams, really good signing. Carlton Davis is on the older side, but he's a vet that's a guy you want. Harold Landry, again, like a vet. Robert Spillman, getting him on that 3-year deal from Vegas, and another older guy. Morgan Moses, Matt Collins, also older guys. Only one of the signees or how old is Josh Dobbs? He's not on the list I'm looking at here.
He's a bit older. He's got to be like 30 something.
Yeah, so
Rocket
they only have
scientist.
signed one guy under 28. So I mean they're looking to win off of veteran leadership, I guess, which isn't bad. But this is a team that's gonna have to build through the draft. They're gonna have to. It's gonna be a long rebuild in this post Belichick era. But I mean, it's going to take a while, but these can be some. I mean, getting Milton Williams as a young, only 26-year-old guy who can be there for a while, he's for sure a guy that you want as a cornerstone of this defense and of this team.
But I also feel like they have a younger team as it is because, they have a couple of receivers. They might get Travis Hunter in the draft. We're not
Yeah,
necessarily sure, but they're going to get some younger pieces. Their quarterback is really young and is looking great. You have Christian Gonzalez on the defensive end. Other than that, there's not really much, which is why you did bring in, a younger guy in Milton Williams. Giving him $26 million, I think, was an overpay in my opinion. Now, while Milton Williams was great, at the end of the day, you as a 3-tech, you're also lined up with Jalen Carter, who receives a lot of attention one-on-one. He probably is the best defensive tackle, I would say probably the strongest defensive tackle in the NFL. Aaron Donald's not in the league, so I can say that now. But they were able to make these really good moves. You did mention Carlton Davis on the older side, but I think they just really need somebody to pair with Christian Gonzalez because you can't have two of him on the field at the same time. So, I think that you just need him as a short-term option. But I think that the moves that they made were really good. You get Austin Hooper back as well on a 1-year deal. Matt Collins is a good deep threat for Drake May, who is a good cannon of an arm. Robert Spillman led the Raiders in tackles each of the last 2 seasons, which I don't know if that's really a flex to have.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you were able to get him there. Your linebackers not too great. I mean, you did trade away Matthew Judon, but he was primarily a pass rusher. Morgan Moses is on the older side, but I feel like for $6 million per year, or I'm sorry, $8 million per year, it kind of works out. It's not really an overpay. And then if he doesn't work out, it'll be easy to get rid of him and not really have to eat that much salary. So I feel like that's a good deal on their part. I think the Patriots are having an incredible offseason. I would say they're definitely one of the top 3 winners so far. Is that primarily because they had the most cap space in the NFL? Yes, but still.
It all depends on what they do in the draft. Like it all, as
True.
I said, they can bring in these vets, but like they're going to have to build through the draft, which they've done a good job as you mentioned. On the defensive side, Gonzalez, and offensively they've gotten guys. But like they're just going to have to keep building, and it'll like they're not going to the playoffs this year. It's going to take.
You don't think so?
I don't. I mean, you're talking about Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati. I put Houston over them. I would put Kansas City over them. Obviously, the Chargers I would put over them. I gotta scroll down here. Pittsburgh I'm probably still putting over them. I mean, like maybe fringe, but like saying that they get 8-9 wins after what was their record last year? What do they have? 3 wins? 4 wins?
It's had to be something around there.
Like they're one of the worst teams in the league. They didn't impress anyone, unless you're Jamie Hansen, I guess. That's about it. No one's getting impressed. No one's impressed by this team. So I mean, it's gonna take a couple years, but they're laying the groundwork. It's just gonna be seeing what the new coaching staff can do.
I think they really filled a lot of positions of need, to be honest with you. And I thought I thought they've made a big splash. I think they have the potential to make the playoffs. Will it happen? I mean, you're probably right. It will take a little bit. This team needs to gel. I think with the offensive line signings and all, you could probably take Travis Hunter in the draft to get an option for Drake May because you didn't go out and get a receiver. You tried to get somebody like DK Metcalf, but they're at the end of the day, you might just want to try and get a wide receiver on a rookie scale contract, which is either McMillan out of Arizona or Travis Hunter. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It all depends. But I think the Patriots, I'd say they're the second biggest winner of free agency. I'll say my first biggest winner when we get to the team. But yeah, I think that the Patriots are doing great. And now our third team, and then our third team in the division of the AFC East, the New York Jets, always making big signings or at least trying to in free agency. The New York
Jets aren't doing anything. The Jets are the Jets.
Right. Justin Fields signed to a 2-year, $40 million deal. That's $30 million guaranteed. Jamian Sherwood re-signed to a 3-year, $45 million deal. Brandon Stevens, a 3-year, $36 million deal after they lost DJ Reed. And then Andre Cisco, a 1-year, $10 million deal. So not as much free agency moves made for the New York Jets, but definitely some to get the sports world talking. Anthony, are the Jets back?
No. I'm someone who has liked Justin Fields from the time he was in Chicago. Obviously watching him twice a year and even more than that, keeping a close eye on the Bears as Packers fan. So I mean, like, I like Justin. But I just don't think his career's played out well. Like those first few years in the league, he was in Chicago. That's not where you want to start your career. Caleb Williams is going to hurt a lot from starting his career in Chicago. Because you can talk about X, Y, and Z coaching things that can help, but the Bears are going to be a consistently dysfunctional franchise because of ownership. So that's what I would say there is that, like, he had a rough start. And he wasn't like great. I mean, I was a guy who before, but like I'll put this out there, and I kind of regret saying it now that before Caleb Williams got drafted, I said the the Bears should have traded that pick and kept Justin Fields around because I saw the upside. Is New York the best place for him? Absolutely not. We'll see what he does. Maybe he's a late bloomer like Geno Smith. But yeah, I mean, the Jets are going to be the Jets until they make big time leadership changes at the top.
Also, a little bit of news here. Colts and running back Khalil Herbert agreed to a 1-year extension. So that's there.
And the Cowboys, by the way, are close to trading for Titans linebacker Kenneth Murray.
Wow, I'm actually surprised.
Teams will be swapping late round picks. That is Purdy and Rappaport.
Oh wow, Cowboys trying to make some moves here. But anyway, I mean, for the Jets, I think defensively they're fine. I mean, Sherwood's a really a pretty good player. Brandon Stevens.
Did you talk about what the Colts just did?
Yeah, Khalil Herbert. I just said.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you. Brandon Stevens. I mean, you lost DJ Reed, who I think is one of the better corners, one of the better rising corners in the NFL. But you get a guy like Brandon Stevens, who's a good lockdown corner, good on the outside. Which is I think that the Jets are going to need, having to go up against guys like Amari Cooper and deep threats like Joshua Palmer, and then possibly guys like McMillan, Travis Hunter, and then who else is in the division? The Jets, the Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, possibly Tyreek Hill. We'll have to see there. But yeah, that those rumors have calmed down. But we'll talk about the Dolphins in just a second here. But Justin Fields, Anthony, I completely agree with you. I think that the Bears should have kept the number 1 pick. And it wasn't just because of how great Justin Fields was, but it was because of the way that the quarterback position has changed. If you look at the way that you win, let's look at Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. They're called game managers. But guess what? Combined, they've been to 3 Super Bowls. Yeah. And Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl. You don't need to be an extraordinary quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, in the back-to-back championships that they had, the defense was better than the offense. So you could call Patrick Mahomes a game manager in that sort of situation. So, at the end of the day, I think the Bears should have kept that pick, and I think they should have traded down and taken Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors, whoever they preferred in that situation, because of the fact that if you look at the way the Eagles and the Niners were doing it, they were surrounding their quarterback with really great weapons, and look what happened. 49ers have gotten to the Super Bowl. They even did it with Jimmy Garoppolo. They got to the Super Bowl twice. They didn't win both of them. The Eagles got to the Super Bowl twice, and they won one. So that's the way it's working.
Ryan, can I give you a hot take?
Yeah.
I'm looking right now at the top drafted quarterback in each of the last few draft classes. Mm-hmm. I think Caleb Williams is not going to be the best quarterback that comes out of this draft class, or that comes out of the pass. I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
I mean, not incredibly.
I don't think Bryce Young is the top that's going to come out of his class when you look back. Kenny Pickett, same thing. Trevor Lawrence, maybe, but I like Justin Fields. Like, if you put Justin Fields in Lawrence's situation, I think he does probably the same thing. And then before that, I mean, right now, I like Jalen Hurts more than I like Joe Burrow. So, like, drafting a quarterback high, it doesn't always work out. Like, in 2022, the lowest drafted quarterback, as you mentioned, Brock Purdy, is the only one that has done anything, because the top few picks, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, and Bailey Zappi have done nothing. So, I mean, like, yeah, in a lot of cases, you're better off just trading that number 1 pick and sticking with who you have, and which is Justin Fields. I mean, Caleb Williams looks really good, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, looking at the draft history here, and how things have played out.
A little bit of news here. Kevin Zeitler has signed a 1-year deal with the Tennessee Titans, so that could imply that they're going for a quarterback. I'm not necessarily sure, but we'll get into them in just a few minutes. But I haven't even talked about what this move means for the Jets. I don't know if this move for the Jets is like that they really like Justin Fields. I think this move could possibly be because that they really want to keep Garrett Wilson. Because if you look at their offense, him and Brees Hall are the only guys that can be there in the next few seasons.
Yeah.
If you're able to have Justin Fields under contract, you can try and lock in Garrett Wilson to a deal because he might not necessarily want to leave because of their connection from Ohio State. So I don't know if this move for the Jets is because of how much they really like Justin Fields. More of it is because they really want to keep Garrett Wilson. At the end of the day, Justin Fields is probably a replaceable quarterback. I mean, look at a guy like Jalen Hurts. I mean, could you put Lamar Jackson on the Eagles and could they win a Super Bowl? Possibly. Well, actually, I don't even think so. I think that's. I don't think that any other quarterback, any other top 5 quarterbacks would have won a Super Bowl if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts. But anyway, or if it wasn't Jalen Hurts, whatever. But anyway, I think that Justin Fields has now surrounded himself with a decent offensive line. Now, is the offensive line a bit older? Yeah, but it's still decent. He's surrounded himself with a very good running back in Brees Hall. He has a weapon in Garrett Wilson, and they have a rapport from Ohio State. I think the biggest problem with Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, that they literally had no connection. Look at the back shoulder ball. Go back and watch the film when Rodgers and Wilson were trying to connect on that sort of pass. Look at the dig routes. There were way too many times where it was either Rodgers or Wilson not making the right move. Sometimes Rodgers would throw it early. Sometimes Wilson would get out of his break late. They had no connection. There is a connection there between Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. So I think that you will be able to build on that. And if it works out, the Jets can get to the playoffs, then then you keep Justin Fields. If they don't, then you can definitely move on from him because it's only a 2-year contract. Now, I'm talking about how much that this move can work out and how I think that this move can work out. But at the end of the day, it's literally the Jets.
Yeah.
So I probably won't.
Yeah, I would agree there. I do want to touch on the Zeitler deal, though. Shout out to him on being a Milwaukee area native and a UW grad. But the Titans need offensive linemen. That's a good deal for them. But as I said a moment ago to you about this ownership or about the ownership in New York, like dysfunctional franchises are dysfunctional franchises.
Right.
And until something changes, I think part of that is just the owner getting the heck out of the way, and letting his GM do whatever. And it could also be just having the right GM. So yeah, that's really all I got there. I don't have anything else really. The Jets are going to jet very, very.
Well, I mean, the Jets for having the owner's kid run the operation. Literally, do you know how bad you have to be to run your operation through Madden? Like, do we understand how crazy that sounds?
Yeah.
There are literally people in the organization that are paid to play football or talk, like tell the team what to do when it comes to football. Like the owner's literally signing their paychecks, and the owner's kid is literally running the organization through Madden.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have traded for Jerry Jeudy, who had over 1,000 receiving yards, but you didn't trade for him because of his Madden rating. I mean, that is I honestly can't believe that. Like, that literally gives me so much confidence that I could run an NFL team. Honest to God. But let's move on here. We were talking about them just a few minutes ago. The Miami or the Bengals. I didn't even put the Dolphins up there. But anyway,
do you want to touch on? I have the Dolphins signings right here. I can name them off.
Yeah, I do have them up. I just don't think I'd put them down as a team that made that many moves because
they haven't done anything.
None of them are that big.
They're not a contender. That's but
let's touch on Tyreek Hill here for a second, and let me transition back over to here. Let's touch on Tyreek Hill. What do we think about him? Where can he go?
I mean, if he's not going to be in Miami, he's still on the roster, right? Like,
but he gets traded.
But if he gets traded, I don't know.
I like Kansas City.
I
think Kansas City would be an option. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Baltimore if they have the cap room.
Baltimore just made that signing for Hopkins, though.
That's true, but like Hopkins is old. Like he's not an elite
But I don't know.
receiver.
I also feel like him and Zay Flowers have like a very similar play style.
That is true. Yeah, with Zay and they have Rashad Bateman, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. I don't really know where else. I guess I could see KC. Cincinnati doesn't need anyone.
Cincinnati needs to fix it themselves.
Yeah.
Talk about them in just a second.
Houston,
Uh,
but I don't think they
no,
want another wide
they have
receiver
Nico.
with ego problems.
Yeah, and we don't even know what Stephon Diggs is doing yet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's sitting right now at the top of the list of open free agents.
I feel like Kansas City's the best option, or
I could
the
see
Chargers. The Chargers could be an option.
I could see Cooper Cup going to Kansas City.
Really?
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I could see Cooper Cup. I could see an Amari Cooper or Brandon Cooks.
That's possible. We'll talk about them in a second as well.
All right, well then I'll let you move on to Cincy.
The Jets are signing former Steelers and Patriots offensive tackle Chamuku Arafaro. I don't know I can't say that name. But anyway, let's move on. The Cincinnati Bengals. That is a team that has made some moves in free agency. They are looking pretty decent out there, and they have their top moves. If I can get down to them, they have signed. They have Samaje Perine on a 2-year, $3.8 million deal. T. Higgins has the franchise tag, which is $26.2 million. Mike Gesicki, 3 years, $25.5 million. Tanner Hudson resigns. B.J. Hill, 3 years, $33 million. Oren Burks, 2 years, $5 million. So, yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals making moves here in free agency, trying to remain playoff, Super Bowl contenders, whatever you'd like to call them. Anthony, I'll let you start with this one.
Yeah, I think that Oren Burks is like the best guy that they've gotten out of like not from in the organization. I think obviously he just came off a Super Bowl championship. T. Higgins situation is not where you want it to be, obviously. But if Joe Burrow can be healthy, if Joe Burrow can be protected, and if their defense can step up, obviously the Trey Hendrickson thing is something to watch. If he comes back, and I mean they're a contender, they just have to stay healthy. That's been what's hurt them the most.
I think that the T. Higgins thing is terrible. The guy does not want to play there. So you either just give him the money or you just have to trade him.
Yeah.
Like if you can trade him let's go. Let me hold on. Let me go into the draft thing. Or where's the draft? Oh, here it is. So when you look at draft prospects for the Cincinnati Bengals, you can possibly trade. So if teams are not going to trade T. Higgins for a first round, like let's say you trade him to the Los Angeles Chargers, right? You can possibly trade T. Higgins for, I don't know, a second or third round pick. You have like second option, like capable options for a number 2 wide receiver. McMillan's a first round pick, but then you have Matthew Golden out of Texas. You have Burden out of Missouri. You have Trey Harris. You have Igbuka. I mean, who else is there? You have another Higgins out of Iowa State. You have Noel. So, like, there are guys that you can make your number 2 option in Cincinnati. Now, I understand that T. Higgins is a number 1 option type player, but at the end of the day, there are other options out there that can be a number 2 behind a Jamar Chase, and then you can also sign Jamar Chase to a big contract extension as well. And then, I don't know, then you can kind of go with what you have. Your offensive line is not working. In the first round, I say you go offensive line because of how bad it's been and how many injuries Joe Burrow has had. And you have other pass catchers. I really like that guy, Izosis, however you say his name, number 80 on Cincinnati. I thought he was pretty decent. Who's your running back? Moss or whoever it was. I mean, he replaced Joe Mixon. Gesicki looked great last season. He definitely had a career resurgence. I mean, he's a Penn Stater, so I'll always have some bias there. BJ Hill, you re-signed him for the defensive tackle spot. Your secondary is okay. Your defense is not great at all. It was one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Losing Trey Hendrickson would be a problem. So I would say that, like, as an edge, you need a little bit of edge rushers here to what do you call it? You need some edge rushers. You just need to rebuild here in the draft. I'd say go offensive line. Like, if you can get an extra pick, you can go with one of these receivers that can really, help you out here in their rookie season and become a number 2 option on a team that, can compete for a Super Bowl because of the roster that they have. But they're just so stubborn and won't pay their guys. Now you got to trade Trey Hendrickson because you're not going to pay him more than $40 million per year. That's literally quarterback money. Like, you're not going to pay an edge rusher more than your damn quarterback. I mean, what the hell are we talking about here? So, I think that the Bengals are a stubborn franchise. I like the Oren Burke signing. I just think he needs to work on not whiffing his tackles. But yeah, I'm not like, the Bengals signings were good, but there are definitely positions of need that they need to fill. And they just gotta figure this out because their franchise is just, I don't know. They're just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it at the end of the day. But yeah, I would say trade T. Higgins, try and get at least a second-round pick, and go try and get a receiver. Like, there are ways to fix this, and I don't know. I just think they're stubborn. But I don't know. Next team, the Baltimore Ravens, making not many moves, but they have made some. They've only made a few. They recently signed DeAndre Hopkins to a 1-year, $6 million contract. They re-signed their fullback Patrick Ricard, and then they re-signed their offensive tackle Ronnie Staley to a 3-year, $60 million contract. So not many moves being made in Baltimore, Anthony, but talk about the ones that they have made.
They're going to be a consistent contender every year in, year out. They're a top 3 team, maybe top 4 if Houston put something together, Cincy or LA or whoever you want to put in there. They're a really good team. It's just that, I mean, they're going to eventually have to do something to make a big breakthrough. Is that just having a really good draft pick that turns out? Could be. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think it's going to be that. An offensive lineman, one singular offensive lineman, isn't going to be that either. But Baltimore's a really good football team at the end of the day.
I mean, you have all right, that's not even relevant. I mean, you have a decent, you have a good team. Like, your defense is all right. They picked it up at the end of the season. I like their team. I would honestly I don't blame Baltimore for running it back this year. And they have DeAndre Hopkins for a reliable number 2. You didn't really have that many reliable receivers over the course of the season. It was either Bateman or it was Flowers, I don't know, just trying to just trying to pick up the slack that the other was not bringing. So I don't know. I feel like with you or the Baltimore Ravens, you're making a good signing here in Hopkins. You have 3 caliber receivers. Your offensive line is good. You obviously have a running back. You have your, you just re-signed your fullback. Your defense is all right. I mean, there's not too many guys that are leaving. I think I really feel like they should sign a veteran in the secondary. I feel like that would be a good option. But you have a safety in Kyle Hamilton. Your pass rush is all right. So yeah, I like the moves that the Ravens are making here. I think maybe taking a corner in the draft would be a good option. You want to try and get a bit younger there. Marlon Humphrey's not getting any older. He's also injured a lot. So yeah, I like that the moves that the Ravens are making. There's not really too many big time moves that you really need to make here. Now all the official trades are going through for the Eagles, so C.J. Gardner-Johnson is officially gone. But nonetheless, we'll talk about the Eagles in a few minutes. But yeah, I like the moves that the Ravens are making. You don't really need to make that many big splashes. And at the end of the day, the Ravens were a team that, could have went to the Super Bowl or could have went to the AFC Championship game again if it wasn't for Mark Andrews dropping a few passes. So we'll have to see how it all turns out. But moving on to our next team.
I do have one signing that just came through. Jets get veteran corner Isaiah Oliver. So making small moves.
Right, just trying.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Our next move here. The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are, I don't know. They are something, Anthony. They recently just traded for Eagles quarterback Kenny Pickett. They traded away Dorian Thompson Robinson and a 2025 fifth-round pick. And they also signed Myles Garrett to a 4-year, $123 million deal with a no-trade clause. They also signed edge rusher Joe Tyron Shoyinka to a 1-year, $4.75 million deal. Anthony, what the hell's going on in Cleveland?
I have a very simple question. Why does Myles Garrett want to be there?
Money,
Like,
I
yeah,
guess.
but you can get that money other places.
I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
Why do you want to be on a team that's just like not going to contend for anything? If Kenny Pickett's their quarterback,
I don't know.
you're not doing it. Is Deshaun Watson even still on the roster?
He is, but there. I don't know if you saw this news. Russell Wilson is planning to fly to Cleveland tomorrow for a visit.
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be Cleveland tomorrow, New York,
Yeah.
Friday. So, I mean, like,
I don't know.
they're not good, like, at all. As I'm seeing on my screen, Vikings and Javon Hargrove.
Yeah, they just signed a 2-year deal.
2-year deal there, but yeah, yeah, it's just it's not good in Cleveland.
Yeah, 1 second here. I gotta type this out. Just some stream stuff, guys. Hold on.
Cooper Kupp has put out his thing.
Wish list.
Cooper Kupp has put out like a thank you LA post set.
I got you.
Next chapter starts now. Best is yet to come.
I don't know about that, but anyway, moving on. Kenny Pickett. I mean, I guess it's all right. I mean, what is a 5th-round pick going to amount to? You get Kenny Pickett in there, somebody that looked good. With a full week of practice. Now he was facing the Dallas Cowboys defense, so we have to take that into consideration. But he looked good with a full week of practice facing the Dallas Cowboys. So maybe the Browns think that he can be a decent option, but the Myles Garrett signing is very, very, very strange. And the fact that you just completely reset the market here now. I don't know if the Cleveland Browns' plan is to actually be good or if it's just to screw over the entire NFL because of this move, the Bengals literally told Trey Hendrickson to go explore a trade. And now Micah Parsons is in trade rumors because of this. So I don't really know what the hell they're doing. They're not a good team.
Yeah.
Do they think that this makes them contenders? Because it looks like, based off what they're doing in free agency, they're coming back with the entirety of the same team. Like, look at your offense. You have, I don't even know your receivers.
No one.
You have Jerry Jeudy. Nick Chubb's best days are behind him. Your offensive line is nothing special. Your defense is, once again, nothing special. I mean, it's all right. It's average, I guess I should say, but Myles Garrett doesn't make it any better than it was last season. You're coming back with the same team. So I don't really know what they're doing. This doesn't make sense to me at all. Why are they trying to at least think that they're competing when they literally have no chance of it? You have 3 other contenders in your division, not for the Super Bowl, for the playoffs, I'm trying to say. And your team is the worst of them all. Like, at some point, you just have to be honest with yourself and realize, like, let's just like reset here and try again. Like, I feel like that's what as much as the Jets suck, that's what they're doing. They're just resetting, and they're just they're kind of giving up. Are the Steelers doing the same thing? I'm not necessarily sure, but there are teams out there that are just saying, like, they're being honest with themselves and saying, okay, let's rebuild here for a year and try and come back, with, some cap space, and, a chance to compete in the following season. So I don't know what the Browns are doing. They're just screwing over other teams. Now, I know they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract, but how can you even celebrate that after literally giving Myles Garrett quarterback money? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a mess, but Cleveland's going to be
big,
Cleveland.
It is a big mess over there, and I'm glad that we are not a part of it at all. So,
Yep.
well, we will have to see.
Pittsburgh next.
Yes, once I think it's Pittsburgh next. I don't even know the order of the slides that I made, but yeah, you were right. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who have made some big splashes in the offseason. I didn't put him on there because he signed last night. Kenneth Gainwell signed a 1-year deal, which hurt my heart. DK Metcalf is acquired in a trade in exchange with the Seahawks. The Seahawks receive a 2025 second-round pick and a late round pick swap. And the Pittsburgh Steelers will acquire DK Metcalf, who will sign a 4-year, $132 million contract extension with the with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Donald Parham agrees to a 1-year contract, the tight end, and Malik Harrison agrees to a 2-year, $10 million deal. Anthony, the Steelers making some moves, and they are trying to reset here without a quarterback. We'll have to see if Aaron Rodgers goes there or whoever, but yeah, the Steelers, and other than the quarterback, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin runs a franchise that is very much centered around let's have a gritty defense.
Right.
And that seems like what they're doing. Yeah, and Darius Slay, not in his prime, but he can still give you a decent playing time at a decent level. Excuse me. Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, yeah, he's a decent backup. Like, also, I'd say probably past his prime of 2022. But yeah, I mean, DK Metcalf also, I'd say, past his prime. But a really solid player.
I don't know.
So
It might be. I think DK Metcalf's going into his prime. He's
I
still
mean, he
27.
could, but like, I feel like we've seen a regression from like I don't know 1-2 years ago a little bit. Like he hasn't
Well, I mean,
been.
he was injured. He was injured this season, and he's also going into his age 27 season. Like
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't know.
what
I mean, we'll see. Like it also depends on who his quarterback is.
if it's Aaron Rodgers, then I mean, honestly, he was on the Jets, so I don't even know. Remember what happened with Brett Favre? I mean, he went to the Jets, he looked terrible, and then he goes to the Vikings, and then they go to the NFC Championship game.
Well, I'm
So
hoping Aaron Rodgers does the same thing, but sucks.
right.
So we'll see what I mean. Aaron Rodgers is the top quarterback right now left on the market. So we'll see what he does.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to say about how good or bad this free agent class was. But anyway, the Steelers, I like that they got Metcalf, but there are two things that are going to be interesting. First thing, him and George Pickens might get into a fight the first day of practice based on who wants the number 14.
Oh God.
Second thing with George Pickens is that they have such a similar play style. Like, both of them love to run go routes, fades, and stuff like that. So, if you have two X receivers that literally do the same thing, your offense is going to be way too predictable. So, I don't really know how that's going to work out. I would say DK Metcalf, because of the fact that he is more of a physical receiver, he might need more of a diverse route tree. That I guess will help the Steelers a little bit more because you're going to need somebody to run over the middle and try to get yards after the catch, and hopefully that will be this DK Metcalf because I think I like George Pickens a little bit better as a vertical threat. But you also made some moves defensively. You just signed Darius Slay, who is injured every 10 seconds. But still played pretty decently well last season. This is probably his last season, so hopefully he goes out well. And then you also made this signing, with Malik Harrison. You stole another rusher away from Baltimore. 2 years, $10 million. I mean, you can always get another pass rusher just in case CJ Watt gets injured. So, just add some depth there. But I like what the Steelers are doing here. As long as they can get a decent quarterback, could it be Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. I think that he could possibly work out. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
I mean, you can even bring Russell Wilson back, but it looks like that won't be happening.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to happen. But anyway,
How
moving
about
on.
Jameis Winston?
That's I feel like the Steelers are trying to compete. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
feel like Jameis Winston would just be a great guy for your social media team to cover.
Well, there, and that's maybe he should be
Instagram
hired as
followers go
the
through the roof.
Instagram.
While your product on the field goes to crap.
Yeah, true. All right, moving on. The Indianapolis Colts may have made some moves in free agency. Some interesting moves for that matter.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a way to put it.
as I pull it, as I pull it up, they signed Daniel Jones to a 1 year, $14 million deal. They also signed Tre'Davious Ward to a 3 year, $60 million contract, and also safety Cameron Bynum to a 4 year, $60 million contract. So, Anthony, the Colts, interesting moves here. A team that had some expectations last year, all went to waste. So, yeah, talk about this team. I'll be back in a
Two
minute
lowest
as well.
QBRs in the NFL competing for a job. That's what I'd start with. Charvarius Ward's a good corner. So I mean, he's almost 30, so he's getting up there in age. But you got a guy like Bynum, who you signed from Minnesota, 4 year, $60 million. He's going to be around until past he's 30. So yeah, if I'm Indy, I'm kind of optimistic. I'd say very, very cautiously optimistic about my chances of doing anything. But that's about all I got there. There we go, Ryan. I was just gonna quickly say, Benjamin St. Just or Juiced, I don't know how to say his last name. Signs with the Chargers, cornerback. Don't really know who he is, but it's interesting.
It happened.
Yeah,
I've heard the name before. But I mean, yeah, the Colts. You're trying to have Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones compete. I feel like,
I like AR, dude. Like I think he has a
yeah, he
can't
has potential, but
and he's speedy. He just needs a good QB coach.
I feel like this Daniel Jones signing is not like it's not like a legit signing to actually have him compete with Richardson. I think it's
Yeah,
just a signing to get Anthony Richardson to like take it. I don't want to say take it more seriously, but like actually really, 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 really lock in and
yeah,
get that job and be the quarterback that we all think he can be. So
yeah,
that's what I think that signing is. But I like their defensive signings. Their defense is nothing special. There really isn't anything in the secondary that is that great. I don't really know any of their secondary guys, to be honest with you. So yeah, I would say that these signings are good. I like Ward a lot. Very very skinny corner, but can be very physical. Breaks up pass as well. Splits the hands. Bynum also pretty decent. Very very good lurker. When I watch a little bit of his film, but yeah, Britton Covey also a restricted free agent now for any Eagles fans listening in. So yeah, that's all going on with the Colts, and we'll move on. They're a very odd team. They're kind of just there half the time. But
yeah.
anyway, moving on to our next team, the Las Vegas Raiders, making some moves, making some moves, making some moves. The Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, the other teams in the division, like I know that the Texans traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The Jaguars really did nothing. Their biggest deal was Eric Murray signing a 3 year, $22.5 million deal. And then the Titans signed Van Jefferson and re-signed Sebastian Joseph Day. That's about it. They also signed Johnny Hecker, punter, so that's good. Anyway,
There you go.
the Las Vegas Raiders, they have traded for Geno Smith. They have acquired they traded away a 2025 third round pick. And yeah, the Raiders will receive Geno Smith. They also re-signed Max Crosby to a 3 year, $106.5 million extension. And then they also signed Jeremy Chin to a 2 year deal worth more than 16 million. Anthony, the Raiders, I don't know if they're trying to compete. I feel like Geno Smith is a bridge quarterback, but what do you think about this?
They got rid of Antonio Pierce as head coach, which is, I mean, I really like AP. I think he's like a really good coach. But then they brought in Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll is the exact guy that you want coaching your football team. So I'm pretty happy with this Vegas offseason, I'd say thus far. Geno Smith isn't bad. He can do the job, I guess. Max Crosby's really good. Jeremy Chin's good. So they're making small signings. Also, Alex Kappa, as a veteran lineman.
Yeah,
As a
I
junior.
don't know about how good that is.
I mean, it's someone.
Oh, wasn't that the guy that gave up like the most pressures, most sacks, and like for the Bengals? Am I wrong about that?
I mean, if they're paying him like $5.5 million a year, I'm assuming that it wasn't him.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
But like, I mean,
Honest.
when like this isn't going to be a bad team. It's not going to be a good team. Can they make the playoffs? Maybe if they have a good draft. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Vegas does.
I'm looking this up here because I feel like this was the guy that had the first in sacks allowed, first in pressure allowed, first in hurries allowed. So
That's surprising.
I thought it was him. Anyway, um, what do you call it? I think Geno Smith is a bridge quarterback. To who? I'm not necessarily sure. I think that the Raiders are trying to figure this out. And honestly, you signed Max Crosby to a 3-year deal. You signed Jeremy Chin to a 3-year deal. So is Geno Smith just a 1-year option? And then you're going to try and go out and try and find somebody else, like try and trade for somebody else, or maybe I mean, I don't know who's on the market next season for quarterbacks. Um, it seems like that the Raiders, based off the signings that they're making, Geno Smith is just a 1-year option to keep them relevant. And maybe I guess you could say make players want to go there. Like, make receivers want to go there. They don't really have really any receivers at the end of the day. I mean, I know they have Brock Bowers, but when it comes to actual receivers, that's about it. So I feel like the signings that they're making, it seems like that Geno Smith is a 1-year option for them. So I would say that, I mean, Geno Smith next season is not going to be worth a 3rd-round pick.
No.
I don't think he's going to continue to get better. So I think that the Raiders kind of overpaid for him based off what his value probably will be next season. So yeah, I would say that Geno Smith is a decent quarterback, but not going to win you a Super Bowl, obviously. He's a bridge quarterback at the current moment in time. And yeah, we'll have to see what the Raiders are thinking here. It's obvious that they might have wanted Matthew Stafford, but he also could have been a bridge quarterback as well. And I don't think Matthew Stafford deserves to be a bridge quarterback. I think Geno Smith is a little more fit for that role. So we'll have to see what they do there. But yeah, I mean, Anthony, who do you think the Raiders could really go for next year? Let me look up the 2026 quarterback class.
Let me check who free agents are. All teams available quarterback.
Aaron Rod. I mean, yeah, 2026.
You're talking about Gardner Minshew, Marcus Mariota, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitchell Trubisky, Mike White, Skylar Thompson, Jake Fromm,
Yeah, so like,
Brock Purdy.
so yeah, I mean,
Will be
no,
he's
he's about to get re-signed.
yeah. So Malik Cunningham, Sam Hartman, Sean Clifford. So that's about as good as you're getting to Sean Clifford.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the plan is. You have to find somebody. Who's it gonna
Draft
be?
somebody.
But yeah, but if they're actually like a decent team, like if they have 7 wins, they're not gonna get March Manning.
Yeah, I mean, who else
Could
is
they
there
take
in
a
the
flyer?
class?
Do you think they could take a flyer this year? Like, don't they have the 7th pick? So you think they could maybe trade up?
I
The
can see
Titans
it.
are willing to trade. The Titans are willing to trade. Are willing to trade the pick, or no?
Yeah, I mean, who are the Titans? I've seen mock drafts saying they should take Abdul Carter. If I were them, I would be
Yeah.
jumping all over Cam Ward.
Really?
Like, I don't love Cam Ward, but like, you need a quarterback bad.
I don't know if it's bad. You do have Will Levis, but like, I know he's not great, but like, it's not like you're desperate. It's not like you're that desperate.
I've watched enough of Will Levis to say that like he's not winning you football games.
No, I give you that, but he's like an option to like, like a bridge quarterback.
Yeah, I guess a bridge quarterback, but I mean, it's okay. So you're gonna be terrible, and then you're gonna draft another person next year and you're not gonna have the number 1 pick. Like, who's the number 2 quarterback in the class?
I don't even know yet. It depends, I guess.
Um,
I don't know. They could take a flyer on somebody. I mean, I Cam Ward and Shador Sanders will go in the top 5. We know that.
yeah.
Unless they know something we don't.
I mean,
So,
yeah, I would say what I would say is that I would be looking if you're looking for a guy who could be a bridge quarterback. I would at least be thinking at least about a guy like Kyle McCord.
yeah,
If you're looking at like a
but
later round
you think he's a
quarterback.
start? He's not really a starting option. I feel like in the NFL.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if the Titans like wanted to draft in 3rd or 4th round as a backup for Will Levis, like at least you have like a competition there. I'm
But I
looking at
feel
next
like a
year's
team.
draft class. It's Arch, Nico Iamaleava,
Hmm.
Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, Kate
I hate him.
Klubnik,
He is so bad.
Sam Levitt, Carson Beck.
I mean, it's nothing bad. Other
Um,
than other than Arch Manning and like the other dude, he's like it's not that
oh,
special.
Iamaleava.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's not too special.
Lenora Sellers
Mm.
from South Carolina.
You think they could take? I'm thinking about. Do you think the Raiders could take Jackson Dart?
I'm a huge fan of Jackson Dart. Like a
So then, do you think they
huge.
could take him? I don't know about
I
seventh
like it.
overall, but like maybe second round.
Yeah, I would. I mean, you could trade down potentially if you wanted to.
I don't know. I feel like they can only trade up, but maybe.
Maybe we'll see. But yeah, it's about all I got there.
All right, let's move on. Our next team is the Raiders. I mean, they brought up more of a discussion than what I thought they were going to. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's move on here. The Los Angeles Chargers making some moves, indeed. They recently signed Eagles All Pro Jalen Rager. I'm kidding. He
I'm
was
about to
no
say
chance to win.
Jalen Rager
Uh,
is
yeah, I know.
atrocious.
The Chargers, they signed Najee Harris to a 1-year, $5.25 million fully guaranteed contract. Dante Jackson, a 2-year, $13 million deal. Khalil Mack, 1-year, $18 million. And Elijah Molden, 3 years, $18.75 million. And J.K. Scott, everybody's favorite punter, a 2-year, $6 million deal. But yeah, the Los Angeles Chargers, a bit of a rut. Justin Herbert looked terrible in their last playoff performance, and they're trying to find their way back into contention. So, Anthony, how do these moves affect the AFC West?
They didn't make any big moves. They just didn't.
Oh
Like
my God! Wait,
what?
time out. Before you start, former Packers running back AJ Dillon signing with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm
Interesting.
heartbroken and happy simultaneously.
Right,
AJ
right.
Dillon
I
is
actually can't believe this.
AJ Dillon is a phenomenal human being. He's great. He's a guy you want in your locker room. He's that ground and pound guy. Saquon Barkley is he's like he paired much better with Aaron Jones. Because Aaron Jones was that like Aaron Jones and Saquon Barkley are not similar whatsoever in their build and like the way they move. Um, so I mean I like it. I mean he's just a ground and pound guy.
26 years
So
old.
solid signing, injury problems. He was out all of last year. But if he
Right.
can stay healthy, I like it.
I like it based off the fact that he's a power back, and we didn't have that last year.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway,
Yeah, they
Chargers.
did Najee Harris, $5 million, not a big deal. Like just based off of money. If that's all they're paying him, that says a lot about how good he is. So Dante Jackson getting like the most they're paying someone on this entire team that they've signed, at least of what I'm seeing here, is 6.5 mil.
Right.
per year.
I mean, they're not really a contender though. Like at the end of the day,
They're right. They're near contender. They're just below, I'd say.
but I don't know. I feel like they're in a division with they're in a division with two other playoff teams, and then a team that can be possibly good next season in the Raiders.
Who
So
Denver is a
like
playoff team?
they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were in the playoffs. I mean, they're a fringe playoff team.
Yeah, but
But I
like
mean,
still.
yeah, the Chargers are a team that I mean they're great on defense. But I mean their offense is gonna have to take a step up.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean they did lose Joshua Palmer. They need to trade for a receiver though, in my opinion. Like I
Yeah,
think, but I think Kyle Mack re-signing him is good. You did lose Joey Bosa, so holding on to him is good. You maybe try and find an edge rusher in the draft. Um, so you're gonna possibly have to do that. You get Najee Harris. I'm a bit confused on the signing because J.K. Dobbins was really good last season. Almost 1,000 yards. Like I think it was over 10 touchdowns. Um, I guess they're going to split reps because of the fact that he's on a 1 year deal. Like it's not like they're fully committing to him.
well, Dobbins is a
Um,
free agent.
is he?
He's still sitting out.
I didn't
I mean,
even.
on NFL Network a minute ago, they're like, "Where's J.K. Dobbins going?"
Oh, I guess then they're moving him. I
So
guess
I
they're
don't know if
moving
they're
on.
moving
So
him or what the
I
deal is,
thought
but
I thought it was under like a 2 year deal or something like that.
maybe I'm
I
just
thought it was
telling you what
under.
they were talking about. I'm not sure.
No, I gotcha. No, I believe you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Um, well, then I guess then Najee. I guess then they're just taking a flyer on Najee Harris, and maybe they'll resign him to a multi-year deal. I'm not necessarily sure, but
Maybe,
it's gonna be weird seeing Najee Harris in a Chargers uniform. I feel. I don't know,
absolutely. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, these moves are good. There's nothing really wrong with anything that they did. I would say that they're an average team when it comes to based off winners in free agency so far, but they just need to trade for a receiver. You need to trade for a guy like D. Higgins and sign him to a multi-year deal. I'm not sure what their cap room is, but you need you need a receiver based off what Justin Herbert did last year in the playoffs. Houston's defense is nothing special. Like
Yeah.
it was all right, but it wasn't anything like to bow your head to. Um, and you threw 4 interceptions. He needs another receiver, and you need T. Higgins. No, you're not going to get McMillan. You're not going to. You're obviously not getting Travis Hunter. Lad McConkey is good, but do we honestly think that he's a number one wide receiver in the NFL that can win like on a championship team? At the end of the day, you need to trade for a receiver. The moves are
Yeah.
good. I think that Najee Harris will work out pretty well. I think the age of power backs is in decline because I think you also need to be able to catch the ball as a running back. But the moves that they made were good. Once again, your defense is coming back pretty much the same, and your defense was fine. Obviously without Brandon Staley, but offensively, you just need to trade for a receiver.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We will see. Next team, the Philadelphia Eagles, moving into the NFC here. Now, Sorgi, I'll let you start because I do have a few things to say.
The Philadelphia Eagles are the reigning world champions. People are concerned about them. My thought is I mean they're only signing. They have 2 signings in the offseason? AJ Dillon
They've
and
had a
that
few.
linebacker they got.
Oh yeah, Well, they also re-signed Vance Sermon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's who I was talking about. Is Van Sermon. But they've lost William Sweat, Rogers, Slay, Burks, Gainwell. It's what happens after you win the Super Bowl. Sucks, but I don't think people should be concerned whatsoever. I mean, I'm expecting Howie to do something. What something is, I don't know, but I'm expecting him to do something big between now and the draft. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
The Birds should still be favorites to win the NFC, favorites to win the Super Bowl. They're the reigning champs for a reason.
Also, the Chiefs didn't really do much. I know we skipped them. They didn't do much. I mean, they re-signed a bunch of guys. So,
well, I do want to mention the Chiefs very quickly about how they've lost Justin Reed. They lost Wharton. They lost Hopkins. They lost Piron. They lost Watson. I mean, and losing D-Hop, losing Justin Reed, 3 years, 31 mil to New Orleans. It's a rough loss that they're going to have to replace. So, yeah, go ahead with the Birds.
So the Eagles, they acquired Dorian Thompson Robinson. He might be cut though. Might be a practice squad guy. Traded him. They got him in a 5th-round pick. They traded away Kenny Pickett. Saquon Barkley signed to a 2-year, $41.2 million extension. And then Kenyon Green is acquired with a 2026 5th-round pick in exchange for C.J. Gardner-Johnson and a 2026 6th-round pick. The Eagles also re-signed Zach Bond, 3 years, $51 million. I'm going to change back. I'm going to transition here to, I know Sorgi's away, but should we just go solo? We'll wait till Sorgi comes back, and I'll say this. So here's what I want to say. We all need to calm down based off of what we're seeing from the Eagles. Yeah, they lost a bunch of guys, but there are also so many guys that are replacements. All right, we lost Milton Williams. Ojimo had a sack in the Super Bowl. And there's another guy, Thomas Booker, who is a dog. We have a replacement for him. And then also Jalen Carter draws a lot of double teams as well. We still have Jordan Davis. Now everybody knows how, I'm not the biggest Jordan Davis fan, but he's still there. Now let's look at Oren Burks. We lost him. We have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. But we can replace with him as a backup. And who else did we lose? We lost Slay. Now I am a bit concerned in the secondary because of the fact that we also lost Isaiah Rodgers. We might need to draft corner with our 32nd pick. There's also Kale Ringo, but I'm not too keen on him being a number one option. Or I'm sorry, as the second corner behind Quinyon Mitchell. Who else did we lose? We lost
the hate on Cooper DeJean right now is crazy.
Well, I mean, he's a slot guy. I don't think.
Yeah, he's a slot guy, but I mean, he's good. It's like he's a good player defensively. The Eagles are still the majority of the players on this team are still bad.
We lost. All right. Well, we lost Kenneth Gainwell. We just signed AJ Dillon. Obviously, Kenneth Gainwell's more of a receiving back, but we can use Will Shipley as a receiving back. Who else did we lose? Slay, Rodgers, Burks, Williams. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We have Sidney Brown. I'm a big Sidney Brown guy. I really like him. And then also, we were going after Justin Reed. We obviously didn't get him, but we could possibly, sign a safety. We have replacements. Am I missing out on anybody? Like, is there nobody that did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody that we lost? Because I think that I covered everybody. So
yeah, I think you did.
Bottom line, there are replacements on cheaper options that we can use. Like, yeah, these guys were great and they helped us win a Super Bowl, but look at the amount of cap space we're going to have next season. We have a lot of cap space next season, and we can use that. We can use that to re-sign other guys. Like, the reason the Eagles are so successful is because of the fact that they pay their players so early. Devontae Smith is the most underpaid wide receiver in the NFL, and he's the best second option wide receiver in the NFL. A.J. Brown is locked in for like 5 more years, and he's like, what is he, number 5 paid in the NFL when it comes to wide receivers? Saquon Barkley. Now Saquon Barkley is the highest paid running back, but that's a given. He's the best, overall the best running back in the NFL, and he had 2,000 rushing yards, so you had to pay him. So, and I'm sure Jalen Carter, the same thing's probably going to happen to Jalen Carter. He's probably going to be one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL, but how he's going to find a way to, not screw him over, but make sure the cap hit is not significant as we would think that it would be. So, look at what the Eagles are doing. Yeah, we're not signing as many guys. There could definitely be a trade, like maybe for Micah Parsons, maybe for Trey Hendrickson. Now, they're not going to pay these guys $40 million per year.
Give me Carter. Give me Abdul Carter.
If we pulled that off,
I mean, I know he's a LaSalle guy, but I think I can deal with it.
I wouldn't believe in anything anymore. If Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers and the Eagles found a way to trade up from 32 to 1 to get Abdul Carter. But regardless, what was I going to say? But yeah, like I feel like everybody's freaking out too much. Now, obviously, once again, these guys, that we lost were very key in helping us win a Super Bowl. But the Eagles are a team that take a lot of risks. We took a risk in re-signing Darius Slay. We took a risk in bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We took a lot of risks. We took a risk on Mekhi Becton, who it looks like he's gone. But I don't know who we're going to replace. Maybe this Kenyon Green, who was another outcast. The Eagles were filled with a bunch of outcasts that nobody wanted. So let's calm down. There's no reason to panic. There are a lot of guys that can replace the guys that really helped us. Sidney Brown, Ringo in the secondary. We have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. We have Thomas Booker. We have Ojimo. There are a lot of guys that can replace the ones that we lost. Now, I am a big Howie Roseman criticizer. I've done it for many years.
Why? He's the best GM in the NFL.
Because we could have drafted Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf and could have had Micah Parsons.
Every GM is going to make mistakes. Like, that simple. Every GM is going to make this mistake.
But not mistakes like that. Not mistakes like that.
He's got you 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and I'll always love him for that. But I will never forgive him.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but I'll never forgive him for that.
Philly kid. I mean, listen to these Philly people, man.
Yeah, but also, they take way too much credit for drafting Jalen Hurts. They literally drafted Jalen Hurts just to tell the NFL that we don't need another quarterback, or we don't need to upgrade our team because we think we're Super Bowl contenders. Jalen Hurts was literally taken for that reason.
Well, it worked out, so you can't blame him. At least if they picked the right quarterback.
No, I know, but still, I'm there. Imagine Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and Micah Parsons. Come on, we would have had more than 2 Super Bowls.
Who did they take Micah Parsons over?
Well, here's my thought process.
Who did they take over Micah Parsons?
Well, here's my thought process. If we would have drafted Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf, right, we would have never needed to take Devontae Smith, and we could have taken Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I guess, but that's a lot of what ifs on top of what ifs on top of what ifs.
Yeah, the what ifs could have been possible if he would have made the right move. It was literally right in front of his face. Everybody and their grandmother knew that DK Metcalf was better than JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and everybody knew that Jalen Reagor was Justin Jefferson was better than Jalen Reagor. My grandfather tells the story every single time of how I went into their house so pissed off that we didn't draft Justin Jefferson.
I mean, as I said, everyone's gonna make misses. It sucks, but happens. And he's gotten you 2 Super Bowls. I'm just seeing if there's any news. Nope, it's just high school baseball scores. So
we had a couple of PCL games today in baseball.
Yeah, Carroll's up 10-4 on Upper Marion's up 10-4 on Carroll.
Ooh, how about New McGrady? What are they doing?
I have no clue.
All right, I'll look later. I think they're playing today. I
gotcha.
Anyway, let's move on. Who's our next team? Okay. Oh, it's a good one. All right, our next team, the Washington Commanders. They have made some moves. Now, they had a lot of cap space as well in free agency. I think they had the second most. But their biggest moves, they traded for Deebo Samuel. They traded away a fifth-round pick, a 2025 fifth-round pick in exchange for Deebo Samuel. They re-signed John Bates to a 3-year, $21 million deal. Re-signed Zach Ertz to a 1-year, $6.25 billion deal. They traded they traded for Laremy Tunsil and a 2025 fourth-round pick in exchange for a third, a seventh-round pick in 2025, and a second and fourth-round pick in 2026. They signed Javon Kinlaw to a 3-year, $45 million contract. And they re-signed Bobby Wagner to a 1-year, $9.5 million contract as well. Yeah. Sorgi, the Commanders, after getting plummeted by the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, trying to reload on pieces. How do you think this is going to work out?
Super Bowl contenders. Instant Super Bowl contenders. This team is for real. They're going to give the Eagles an absolute battle, most probably 3 times next season. They're setting themselves up for a lot of years of successful football. This new Josh Harris. I mean, Josh Harris is showing he's giving Sixers fans hopes. He's giving
I
Sixers
don't know about
fans
that.
hope right now because he's showing he knows how to run a franchise, which is
football.
good. Because it's very simply because let's not forget that before this year, a Josh Harris owned team had never made it past second round. All of the teams he's ever owned, between the Devils, Sixers, Commanders. So now that he's finally shown that they can get somewhere, and he's shown that getting himself out of the way and letting someone good, better than Daryl Morey, run the team, is good. So I would just say there that the Commanders are in a good spot for the future. Working around Jaden Daniels, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a lot of years to come.
I also forgot to mention that Josh Sweat, we lost him. He can be replaced by Jalix Hunt.
Yeah.
So it's not like at the end of the day, it's not like at the end of the day, we really, really, really need an edge rusher, but it would be nice. Anyway, the Commanders. I talked about Deebo Samuel before. I think he needs to move back to his spot at running back for at least a couple snaps, just because I think their offense would be too predictable. Zach Ertz worked great over the middle of the field last year. Really returned to what he is great at. Making those great catches over the middle, having great hands, and trying to get yards after the catch. Laramie Tunsil, I feel like he's not past his prime, but also what do you call it? But also, like, he's not like the best. He's not even the best left tackle in the division, and he traded away a lot of draft capital. I don't know. He's getting a bit older. If you're the Houston Texans, I don't really understand what you're doing with that, but I feel like you traded a lot of draft capital for possibly the third best left tackle in the division, because Jordan Mailata is the best left tackle. Andrew Thomas is there as well. I don't know, second or third, but you traded away a lot of draft capital for really the second or third best, tackle in the division. I like the re-signing of Bobby Wagner. He was really able to pick it up. You get him another cheap deal as well. Could this be his last year? We don't know. Javon Kinlaw, I like that signing just based off the fact because we don't know if Mekhi Becton is going to return, and he could be a good player in the 3-tech spot against maybe a guy like Kenyon Green if the Eagles get him. It moves him to the right guard spot, and then if that's a weak point, that's a way you can get to Jalen Hurts. So Kinlaw, good signing. The Commanders had a lot of cap space based off what you said about Josh Harris. He doesn't care about the Sixers. I think also that the general managers are very different in the level of competence. Daryl Morey needs to be fired. Adam Peters is one of the best general managers in the NFL and one of the youngest general managers in the NFL. So
Daryl Morey should have been gone. I mean, let me. I'm just gonna before we get back to football, let me say this: Daryl Morey should have been gone a long time ago. Joel Embiid should have been gone a year ago. Paul signing injury-prone veterans is just not the way you win championships. Veteran superstars, because the formula to winning in the NBA is drafting. I mean, I'll use this example: the Bucks, because I'm a Bucks fan. What did they do? Their top 2 players were essentially homegrown. They traded for Middleton when he was really young, and then they added the extra piece.
Right.
That's how you win championships in any sport. Like, you have to grow your team. You can't buy championships unless you're in baseball. Because there's no luxury tax.
I was about to say.
Like, there's no salary cap, right? So now I know there is a push for there to be a salary cap in baseball. Should there be? Yeah, it won't happen. But yeah, I mean, I think that you said the difference in GM competence is absolutely huge.
Yeah, Daryl Morey needs to go, no doubt about that. But I feel like the reason the Sixers didn't trade Embiid is because they were still believers. Now nobody believes in him. Like, everybody, it's not the fact that nobody believes in his ability on the court. It's just nobody believes in his ability to stay healthy.
I don't believe in his work ethic either.
I don't know. I feel like he always Paul George. Even though Paul George played bad this year, he was trying to play. We heard that he was getting injections just to play in games. So it's not like these guys are not. I mean, Embiid, he admitted to not even really playing it back to back. So
Like look at Embiid in the Olympics. That's when I knew
that
that
was
like,
I pissed off. I was so
that's
mad
when
about
I
that.
knew, and I was like, yeah, this has to like that like this is not going to go well.
Right.
But yeah, all right, go back to whatever team we're
Well,
on.
yeah. I think that. Are you done with the Commanders? Anything else you have
I
to
have
say?
nothing else other than that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders for a long time.
All right. Well, next we're moving on to my off-season winners so far. Now I know everybody's gonna moan and groan, but my off-season winners, the Chicago Bears. Now I'm gonna tell you why. They filled positions of need. What was their worst part of their team last year? Wrong answer. It was their interior line.
I was
That
going to
was
say
the worst.
offensive line is where it was.
Right, but it was primarily the interior line,
Yeah.
their guards and their center. So what did they do? They traded. They got Jonah Jackson from the Los Angeles Rams for a 6th-round pick. You got Joe Thuney, one of the best guards in the NFL, for a 2026 4th-round pick. You got Drew Dahlman on a 3-year, $42 million contract. Played really well in Atlanta last season. And then you were able to sign Grady Jarrett to a 3-year, $43.5 million contract.
Love that deal.
I mean, yeah, that's not a bad deal at all. He's a bit older, but you could definitely use some pass rushers as well. What do I always say? You always have to pay your quarterback, the guys who protect the quarterback, and guys who rush the quarterback. That's the way you pay your guys. So the Bears completely did it right. Now they win the offseason every single year. Other than these positions, where else were there holes? The quarterback's there, the running back's there. They have 3 receivers. Their defensive line was primarily there. You have decent linebackers. I'm a big TJ Edwards fan. You have Jalen Johnson in the secondary. You have other than that, your secondary is all right. It's very okay. That's just about Brenton Covey. Brenton Covey, a free agent, if I didn't mention. But yeah, so you filled every single position of need. You didn't overpay for anybody. You look fine. Now, will this work? Probably not because it's the Bears. But on paper, the moves you made were really, really good. And it should, once again, it should, I'm going to say that with a grain of salt, it should, or I'm going to say it carefully, it should work out. I'm not necessarily sure if it is going to.
Yeah. What I'll say here is that I think for the Chicago Bears, Mrs. McCaskey passing away a few months ago. I mean, a long-time owner, and condolences still to the family that I'm guessing and assuming still grieving for good reason. She was a phenomenal human being. She was not the best football owner. And it's all going to depend on how whatever member of the McCaskey family is now running this franchise. It's all going to depend on, I think, their ownership, and are they going to sell? What are they going to do? They're not going to sell because it is the McCaskey family. It's the Hallis line of succession. But I mean, for the Chicago Bears, it's all at the top, and it's about trying to actually run a functional franchise.
Right. What do you think about these moves?
I mean, the moves are good, but it's not going to matter if they don't know how to run it at the top. Like that. That's it. That's all I got. Bears are going to bear.
All right. And now, Sorgi, we move on to your favorite team, the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, the Green Bay Packers. This is great. We haven't done that much. Nate Hobbs, I really like. Aaron Banks, I also really like. Goody's going to have a good draft. Talk about complaining about Howie. I mean, the Packers have missed out on Brian Branch, Cooper DeJean, a lot of players that I wish we could have.
Metcalf.
Metcalf.
You also missed out on Metcalf.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Packers are a team I have hope in. They need a number 1 weapon bad. I know I made the joke to you a couple days ago, just pre-order Jet Harrison. That's what someone said to me. I'm like, yeah, it's not I'd rather have that than have Jet Harrison in 7 years than Romeo Dobbs in 7 years.
Mm.
But that's like the Packers just need weapons. They need weapons. If they get weapons, they'll be good. I believe in Jordan Love. Jordan Love had a sophomore slump. I think he's gonna. It's a new era in Green Bay because the quarterbacks coach who fixed Brett Favre developed Aaron Rodgers and started developing Love through his first 4 or 5 years has retired. So now you have a new guy who's going to be in there helping Love. So if they can fix his issues, the Packers they're young and they can win a Super Bowl. But it's going to take a couple of years. Could they do it potentially? Yeah, they're a fringe contender, I'd say. If they can get rid of Jair Alexander and sign, I don't really know who. Sign or trade for a receiver. I don't want Stephon Diggs.
Well, I feel like Nate Hobbs was kind of like a signing to, like, replace Jair Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a question of okay, who are we trading for, or signing at receiver or drafting? There's no one really to sign. So who are we drafting or trading for? I wanted T. Higgins. I wanted Chris Godwin. Not getting either of those guys. So we'll see.
I think the Packers need a weapon as well. They haven't been able to do that, but I feel like the Packers are trying to do the Chiefs thing, where you don't need a lot of receivers, you just need a great quarterback to win. But Jordan Love is no Patrick Mahomes. And I think
not like it's going to take time for him to develop. I think he has the potential to win the MVP and like be that level of player. It just takes time to develop. I like him. It's not there right now.
Yeah, but based off the core that they have, I don't know if Jordan Love can win with what he has right now.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So that's why
he has a really, really good running back and he has a good offensive line now. Now that they've been able to fix those issues up. Defensively, they're not bad. Coach Hafley is phenomenal. I have hope that the Packers are going to be able to make the playoffs. It's just a question of what they're going to do from there.
Yeah, this receiver class is just not good. It's really screwing up these teams in the draft as well.
I would think about giving up the bank for a Marvin Harrison Jr. or one of those younger receivers.
Yeah, but there's no shot that the Cardinals trade him.
Sadly, no. I like someone who's young. I would give up the bank for someone to give Love the weapon he needs. But
I think defensively they're fine as well.
The defense is good.
The defense is pretty decent without Joe Barry, obviously.
They're no Eagles, but they're good.
Yeah, probably just another weapon would work out. But yeah, I know I didn't put the Lions in there, but they did sign DJ Reed. Any comment on them?
The Detroit Lions are a really good team. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Picked them to win the Super Bowl. And that didn't happen, obviously. Happy that didn't happen. As much as I would love to see the Lions win one. But DJ Reed's a good signing. They're making good moves. Aiden Hutchinson back is going to be a huge help in the playoffs next year. Guy that they missed. Lions are in a good spot to win the North once again.
I just saw a report, but I don't think it's going to materialize anything. The Jaguars were like with Cooper Kupp in Los Angeles. I don't think that's going to turn into anything, but like.
Oh, we have news.
Oh, what is it?
Josh Myers, former Packers center, Ohio State grad, signs a 1-year, $3.5 million deal with the Jets. So he will now be the center for his former OSU quarterback, Justin Fields, out there in East Rutherford. What
the hell are they doing? The Jets are.
I like the move.
The Jets are just recreating teams. They try to recreate the Packers. They're recreating Ohio State now. What the hell's going on here?
Recreating Ohio State isn't a bad thing.
No, you're right, but like,
Go ahead.
It's a good move. It's a good move. There's nothing wrong with that. I just find it funny how they're doing this.
The one thing I
Yeah, I
forgot to
like the
mention is
move.
for the Packers, I would look at Emeka Egbuka in the draft.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I really like him. That's who I would want. I think he's the best option. Like I don't know who else is in the receiver class, but like if you have to trade up for him, like I would go for a guy like him, because I think that he has the potential to be your number one, very quickly. Sorry, Ryan. I'll give it back to you.
I mean, yeah, once again, Josh Myers, I like the signing. If you're the Jets, I mean, your offensive line's older, so you could always use a bit of freshness, I guess you should say, in the offensive line.
Yeah.
But let's move on here. Moving on to our next team in the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings.
The purple incarnation
The
of
Minnesota.
Satan.
Indeed. The Vikings, they were able to re-sign Aaron Jones on a 2-year, $20 million deal. Will Fries, 5 years, $88 million. Ryan Kelly, 2 years, $18 million. Jonathan Allen, 3 years, $51 million. Byron Murphy, 3 years, $54 million. Excuse me. And Theo Jackson, 2 years, $12.615 million. So the Vikings handing out a lot of money in this free agency class. They have some of the cap room to do it. But they're making some big moves, trying to compete.
Yeah, I mean the NFC North is going to be a dogfight. Whether it's JJ McCarthy or whether they sign Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or someone, we'll see what they do. They're going to have a good supporting cast. Will Fries is a great signing. Aaron Jones is a phenomenal running back, phenomenal guy as well. I mean, this is a guy who is regularly in Minnesota and still in Green Bay, out there in the community helping people. So that's the type of guy you want on your team, a great leader. Byron Murphy is a really good player. Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and then you look at also Ryan Kelly, Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, the cast is there in Minnesota. It's just about putting it all together and winning football games, which is something that they've shown they can do. So yeah, I like this Vikings team. I like the NFC North to be the most competitive division in, I mean, possibly along with the AFC West in the NFL.
I feel like these moves are literally just to compete with the Lions, because and the
They're
Eagles,
all really good
really,
moves.
because
Yeah,
I mean, your interior line, you're signing that, to deal with, possibly guys like Jalen Carter, and Aiden Hutchinson if he moves to 3 tech. You get Aaron Jones. You get Aaron Jones back. While he was a little bit inconsistent last season, he was pretty decent. Byron Murphy, you have him to deal with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and others. And who else do you have? You have Ryan Kelly once again, Jonathan Allen. You want him to rush Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and then you also got Isaiah Rodgers, who
yeah.
is going to step into that. Hargrave, yeah, I forgot to mention him.
Those two
So
on
you got
the
2,
line
3
together
techs
are going to
there.
be really good. Yeah.
Right, you got 2, 3 techs there to deal with the Eagles and the Lions, top 2 offensive lines in the NFL. And then Isaiah Rodgers is going to is definitely going to be able to step into a starting role with the Minnesota Vikings. So you have a lot of guys. Your team now matches up well with the Lions and the Eagles, I think, based on this free agency class that you just brought in.
They very simply just doubled up on everything. They doubled up on corners, they doubled up on defensive tackles, and they doubled up on offensive linemen. And
I don't know. They could possibly be the winners. I don't know. I feel like
I think they've had a better offseason than the Bears have.
Yeah, I was just about to say that might be my number one based on. I might have to switch to my number one. I don't know. It might be 1A and 1B in my opinion. But yeah, the Bears or the Vikings. Sorry, they're looking good. They might be my. Maybe I'll do a video on my top 5 free agency winners, and then we'll and then we'll see. But that's not gonna be for a little bit because we still have to see what happens. Anyway, our next team, the Carolina Panthers, who didn't do much, but what they did was, I guess you could say, enough. It didn't make a lot of signings, none too incredible. Andy Dalton re-signed on a 2-year deal. Tommy Tremble, 2 years, $16 million. Patrick Jones, 2 years, $20 million. Tershawn Wharton, 3 years, $54 million. Bobby Brown, 3 years, $20 million. Rose Boom, a 1-year deal. J.C. Horn, highest paid corner of all time, 4 years, $100 million. Morrig, 3 years, $51 million as well. So the Panthers, they have the cap room to do it. It really looked like they were more focusing on their defense. Not, I don't know too many wide receivers that would really want to go there, to be honest with you. But yeah, what do you think about the Panthers, Sorgi?
They can build their defense up and make it really good. Bryce Young just, I don't see it working out. Like, I just don't see this offense clicking. I mean, like, what has Bryce Young done in these first couple of years? I mean, if you can get him an offensive line and see what he can do, you can try.
He's made improvements, though. He's made improvements,
but like, he's gonna have to really improve. Like, I feel like he's just gonna be. I mean, maybe I'm just saying this because of size, but I feel like he's just gonna be Kyler Murray, like, in a lot of ways. Like, he's gonna, like, he had upside, but CJ Stroud has proved. I mean, I thought CJ Stroud should have gone number 1 at the time, and I still stand by that. So Carolina, I mean, they have the potential to be a good team, but they're young. They're just gonna have to keep building, and as their phrase says, just keep pounding until you get to the top, right?
I mean, I don't think J.C. Horn deserves to be the highest paid corner of all time.
Everyone's overpaid in this league.
Well, yeah. Well, highest paid annually, I guess I should say. Or is it highest paid of all time? I don't even know. Whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, Morhig is all right. But yeah, I mean, I felt you should have built a little bit more of your offense. You just cut Miles Sanders, but you do have Brooks and others as your running back, so you didn't really need him. Your offensive line's okay. I mean, you did sign Robert Hunt last season. You're obviously going to continue with Bryce Young. Andy Dalton's obviously a good mentor or whatever. You don't have that many receivers. Once again, maybe you can get a receiver in the draft. There are some good number 2 options out there. But at the end of the day, your number 1 option is Adam the corpse of Adam Thielen. So
yeah,
that's not really going to help a guy.
Is the key word there.
I mean, yeah, like that's not going to help a younger quarterback at the end of the day. You need, weapons to put around him. And I feel like based off what we've seen of Bryce Young, teams will refuse to put their quarterback into a situation where they don't have, options to, I guess you could help them compete. Like think of the Bears, for example. Think of the Vikings. Like they're trying to put their quarterback in situations immediately where they can look good and, not, I guess, lose their confidence is what, which is the opposite of what the Panthers did. So, I feel like they could do a little bit more offensively. Defensively, I mean, their defense is whatever. It's nothing special. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have
personally,
to see.
my top 2 receivers are Golden and Igbuka, because of their speed. Like so I mean, if they can get one of those 2 guys, we're talking about Igbuka running a 4.3, Golden running a 4.29. Like I would go for one of those guys because you can get that speed threat, and Adam Thielen's not a terrible number 2. Not great, but not terrible. So yeah, I mean, if Carolina can build and see what they can get here as we go along.
I just want to clarify, you don't have those guys over McMillan, right?
I guess I haven't watched McMillan. That's the thing. I don't know anything about him. I've watched a lot of like Golden and Igbuka. I have not watched any Arizona football, so I cannot judge until I watch that film. But like he's not as speedy. Like I don't know if he has good. I mean, it seems like he has good ball skills. But I also didn't watch Combine or anything. So once I sit down and watch some film, I mean, he's probably going to be my number 1. But yeah, I mean, it's not I'm looking at their grades right now, and Golden's like 0.4 under him, in grading. So
everybody knows who WSJP's football film guy is. That's
you.
That's me, baby. That's me, baby. But anyway, we have a little bit of news here. Patriots are highly interested in Cooper Kupp, so take that as you will. But anyway,
I forgot to mention that AJ Dillon is the Quad Father. That's his nickname.
The what?
The Quad Father.
The Quad Father?
Like Godfather?
What does that mean?
The Quad Father? him and because the NFL just put on they put the quad squad in Philly with Saquon and AJ Dillon.
Is it because they
put
work
that
out their
out on
quads a
Twitter.
lot?
They just have
They
big
work out their
quads.
quads.
That's all I can say, Ryan, is they have big quads. The NFL posted it on Twitter.
That is so odd. Okay. Moving on.
But yeah,
Our
there you
next
go.
team.
There's your random Eagles bit.
We're going in the South, babe. Well, we're going deeper in the
We're
South.
already in the South.
Going deeper in the South with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have made some re-signings, which I think a lot of people have liked. They have re-signed Chris Godwin, 3 years, $66 million. They re-signed Ben Bredson, 3 years, $22 million. Re-signed Levante David, 1 year, $10 million. Got Hassan Reddick, 1 year, $14 million as well. So, yeah, I mean, the Bucs really just kind of keep coming back with what they had, but also getting Hassan Reddick. And, you know, they're a team that probably could win the South, I would say, Sorgi. I mean, they have to be the number one team.
Yeah, they're the heavy favorites. Like, very, very heavy favorites. Chris Godwin's phenomenal. Don't forget about Mike Evans. Hassan Reddick, I don't really know. Like, he was good with the Birds.
It's a prove-it deal, so, like, it's not that
Yeah. And Levante David's been there forever. He is the definition of like a legacy player. One city his entire career. So yeah, Bucs are going to be favorites to win the South. Are they going to go to the Super Bowl? No, but they're not a bad team.
Yeah, I agree. Dave is a great tackler. We know that. Chris Godwin. I mean, I'm a big Chris Godwin fan. I think he could be a number one. But you know, they got him pretty cheap, to be honest with you.
Hometown discounts, words that we
he's
rarely
also
say in this league.
Right. I mean, coming off an injury as well, they got him really cheap. I mean, $22 million based off the deals that we're seeing. Adams is getting like what 30 something. He's also getting like 30 million. I don't even know what he's getting, but he's getting more than that. I'll tell you that much. Hassan Reddick also on a cheap deal as well. You get another pass rusher. You know, your defense is decent. You know, your secondary is good with Anton Winfield. You know, and then offensively, I mean, Bucky Irving. Yeah, I was a big fan of him coming out of Oregon. I think I commentated the Oregon and North Carolina game 1 year. Irving had like 100 yards. I don't even know why I did it. I think I was bored. It might have been during Christmas break, but anyway. I remember Irving had like 100 yards in the first half. But anyway, you have Rashad White, you have Bucky Irving, Baker Mayfield still in a contract for I think the next 2 years it is. So you know there are options for Bucky. Or there are options for the Bucs, and you know they could possibly be a 4 or 3 seed, and you know with the right games, the right seeding, they could possibly make a push to the Super Bowl. So I like what they're doing.
It's not out of the question.
It's not. They didn't need to do anything extraordinary because of the fact of winning the division is not really the goal. Well, I mean, obviously it's the goal, but like there's a bigger goal in mind because of they can win it so easily.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say that like if the Buccaneers really want to do something, I would make a big splash, but like I don't see them to have a reason to do that.
Well, there's not really anything to make a big splash on, to be honest with
you. Exactly, that's the thing.
All right, so moving on, we're going west now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going west to the Arizona Cardinals. Going to Arizona, baby. One hot place to another. They signed Jacoby Brissett, 1 year deal. They re-signed Zay Jones, Evan Brown, 2 years, $11.5 million. Aaron Browning, 2 years, $15 million. Josh Sweat, 4 years, $76.4 million. Davis Gaither, 2 years, $11 million as well. So the Cardinals, they're I don't know. They're doing decent, I guess I should say. They're improving their defense. I think they needed edge rushers. Receivers wise, I mean, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. You have Zay Jones, who's past his prime, but he's a deep threat. So you know you have some decent receivers. But yeah, I think your secondary is pretty good as well. You know, I think maybe you could take corner in the draft. But, I mean, you really needed some help at edge rusher. and maybe offensive line as well. But I'm a big fan of what the Cardinals did here, and what they've done so far. I mean, you get Josh Sweat back with Jonathan Gannon as well. You re-sign Baron Browning, who's pretty decent. I mean, I like what the Cardinals are doing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're somewhat Cardinals fans because of Marvin Harrison Jr. Always watching them, always watching him on Sundays. But Jonathan Gannon's putting something together out here.
Did Sorgi pause? His internet might have went out. Did we lose the Sorginator? We might have lost the Sorginator, guys. I think we lost them. All right. I think we lost Sorgi. We'll
After I was so rudely interrupted by my computer dying after charging it all afternoon. All right. Back to what I was saying, which is that Jonathan Gannon's putting a really solid team together.
All right. Is that it? I mean, let's get back into it here.
The good signings. I like Josh Sweat a lot. But yeah, Arizona is going to be able to compete in years to come. Kyler Murray's not going to win them a Super Bowl, but they can do something.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think they just need to go offensive line, maybe in the draft or whatever, and see what happens there. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah. What is it? All right, let's move on. I don't even know. The Jets have released C.J. Mosley. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's move. The Los Angeles Rams, who just cut Cooper Kupp. We know that. They restructured Matthew Stafford. They re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo on a 1-year deal. They got Devontae Adams, 2-year, $46 million. So it is $23 million. So just $1 million more than Chris Godwin. Tutu Atwell, 1 year, $10 million. Alaric Jackson, 3 years, $57 million as well. And then Poona Ford, 3 years, $29.6 million. So the Rams handing out some money this free agency, as well as cutting Cooper Kupp and restructuring Matthew Stafford. But the Rams still trying to compete for a championship, Sorgi. Oh, did I? I knocked him off the stage.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry, I switched over to my computer again, so I can get the high quality everything. But the Rams are really good. Devontae Adams. No, he's not in his prime anymore, but he's still a number 1 level option. So yeah, I'm a fan of this team. I mean, are they going to win a Super Bowl? Probably not, but there's potential if they make some moves in the draft. Do some things like they could make a run. A lot of teams could in this NFC. Matt Stafford, keep extending him. I mean, he's still a starting quarterback in this league. He's getting older. This is probably his last contract, if I had to guess. But yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah, they're still trying to compete, but we don't ever know what's going to happen in the NFC West. Like, 49ers and Seahawks and Cardinals could all be Super Bowl contenders, or they could all be terrible next season. Like, We don't know what's going to happen with either of those teams. I expect the 49ers to be decent. The Seahawks look like they're heading for more of a rebuild. So we don't necessarily know what's going on there. So, yeah, I mean, and the Cardinals, I don't expect them to be Super Bowl contenders. So it was really just a one-way race between them and the 49ers. And we saw, if not for a few bad plays by the offensive line, the Rams could have beaten the Eagles in the NFC Championship game last season. So, the NFC Divisional round last season. So it's not like there's anything bad about this team. Like, they can compete. They just need to put it all together and, just win. They need to stay healthy. Then they can win their division, because once again, we don't know what's going to happen in the NFC West. They can stay healthy. play good football. You have a whole off season for Devontae Adams to get accustomed to Matthew Stafford. I would say that Sorge, I think you could agree with me that Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers are decently similar in play style. They both are
Yeah.
really good They both are really good pocket passers. Now, obviously, timing and connection and all that, and friendship off the field is different. But they could definitely build that rapport, in my opinion.
And don't forget
Puka Nacua
Devontae coming
also
home
changed.
in a lot of
Right,
ways. Guy from Fresno.
right. And then also, I think that the connection's already building between him and Puka Nacua. Nakua's changing back to number 12, like he was at BYU. Adams going to take that number 17 most likely. So it's clear that there is a connection there, or maybe the Rams forced him to do it. I don't know, because he said he wouldn't even give up the number 17 for $2 million. So I don't know. It's it's already looking pretty decent in Los Angeles. I hope Devontae Adams can get back to what he was, because he was great. I feel like his ability to release off the line of scrimmage has taken a dip in the last few seasons. His open score has gone down based off of ESPN analytics. So yeah, and we will move on here. We'll move on to the next. Is that it?
I think
No,
that's. Oh
no,
no,
one
there
more
we
team.
go. One more.
I was like, where is it? The Seattle Seahawks, who kind of pretty much shocked the NFL world by signing Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100.5 million contract, $55 million guaranteed. They also recently signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1 year, $5.5 million. DeMarcus Lawrence, we just heard, 3 years, $42 million. Jaron Reed, 3 years, $25 million, and Ernest Jones, 3 years, $33 million. So, Sorgi, the Seahawks rebuilding? Question mark? I don't really know. What are they trying to do here?
Yeah, I mean the Seahawks are new era up there in Seattle. Sam Darnold's are shown to be a good quarterback. Revived his career, I guess. So yeah, I think that for this Seattle team, they're going to be playoff contenders. Super Bowl, no. Losing DK Metcalf sucks. But yeah, I mean, this is a team that in this post Pete Carroll era has the potential to get back to the playoffs.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm concerned about Sam Darnold because we haven't seen him. We've seen him without guys like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson, and he was on the Jets, and the Panthers, where he looked terrible.
Yeah.
So how is he going to fare with just JSN as his number one wide receiver? Is he going to be back to what he was, which was the epitome of a disgrace, or is he going to look decent like a pure pocket passer, which is what we saw over the course of this season? I don't know. We're going to have to really, 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 I don't know. I guess look at him. We're going to have to really look at him in the preseason, and there's going to be a lot of in-depth analysis. There's going to be a lot of people over-exaggerating on what they see from him in training camp in the preseason. We're just going to have to wait. It's just going to be a waiting game. And the Seahawks are taking risks. I mean, they took a risk on Geno Smith when they traded away Russell Wilson, and that turned out well for them. Got them to the playoffs a few times. Defensively, I mean, Mike Macdonald is a defensive-minded head coach. He wanted good pass rushers, and he wanted good safeties in his defense, and it looks like he's getting good linebackers. He's getting decent pass rushers on his team, I assume he's going to try and go secondary, maybe in the draft, maybe in the later rounds. So we'll have to see there. But if the Seahawks, once again, like other teams looking in the NFL draft, there are decent number 2 options that you can go with. JSN, he did have a 1,000-yard season last year. Did have more than DK Metcalf, though he was injured. So you have to look at that right there, and you have to. I just have faith if you're Seattle Seahawks fans. Risks have worked out before. You took Russell Wilson in the 4th, 5th round, whatever it was. We didn't even know if he was going to play in the NFL or he was going to go play baseball. and he won you a Super Bowl. You took a flyer on Geno Smith, and it worked out for you. So I guess you just have to have faith, kind of like what the Packers have been doing with Favre, Rodgers, and Jordan Love.
Yeah.
But that should, I think that's it, right? I don't think they have any more teams.
I mean, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about other guys here. We're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. Am I allowed to screen share Twitter? Will I get copyrighted?
No one's gonna care.
All right, well,
You should be good.
I think that. All right. Well, Rodgers. I mean, there's nothing really related.
Let's just. I guess if the last couple things we could touch on is where do we think Stephon Diggs goes? Where do we think Aaron Rodgers goes? Where do we think Russell Wilson goes? I mean, that's all I can think of talking about.
I don't know if Diggs stays. I feel like Diggs stays in Houston because, like, who's gonna want him other than Kansas City?
I mean,
he's not going to go to Kansas City. I mean,
I could maybe see him go to LA Chargers.
Yeah, but I feel like they need like an actual number one, like for a younger guy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. I think Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. Like,
I want Rodgers to go to Minnesota. I think he goes to Pittsburgh. I mean, Aaron Rodgers should have hung it up.
Because you think he's going to be bad and. You think he's gonna be bad?
Oh no! I just want him to complete the Brett Favre arc and then just be terrible. That's what I want. I have this love-hate relationship with Aaron Rodgers, because I just I don't like him, but he's my child for a number of reasons. I don't like him, but he's my childhood favorite player, so I have to love him.
Right.
So he's my favorite player, but I like. He's an interesting guy, and I think that he should just hang it up, but he's not going to. That's my take on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't think he'll win a Super Bowl.
He won't go back to the playoffs.
To be honest with you. Yeah, I think he goes to the Steelers though, and then Russell Wilson. I don't know.
Giants,
honestly.
Browns, one of the two.
They both are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, if I were the Eagles, if I were the Eagles, I consider signing him as a backup.
Oh, hell no.
You don't want him?
He's too much money. There's going to be teams offering him money, starting quarterback money.
Yeah.
And he wants to still compete as a starting quarterback. Like, come on.
If I were the Packers, I would call about having him as a backup because he's just a good locker room guy.
I don't know about that.
But
I guess you're right.
I don't know. I mean, I think that
he's going to be offered starting quarterback money. There's no chance he goes.
He'll go to. I will predict he goes to the New York Giants, and they're going to suck again.
Yeah, I could see it because I feel like the quarterback market's up. I feel like it'll be a 1-year deal though, because they're going to go with a quarterback. That quarterback's going to learn under him. And then they'll just move on.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Stephon Diggs. I think he's staying in Houston.
I mean, I don't think CJ Stroud is going to want him.
Why not?
Because he's just a head case.
I guess so.
If I were CJ Stroud, I would be saying, please draft me someone to throw the ball to. For the love of God. But yeah, I would say, I mean, Chargers, maybe Rams, that doesn't make sense. Chiefs, I don't see a great fit for him, really. Maybe he goes to Miami, but that doesn't. I could see that maybe. I don't see him fitting in well with any NFC teams. I mean, San Fran, No. Yeah, I don't have much there. Minnesota
there really
maybe
isn't any,
goes back.
There's not. Nah. But there's no. You might say that he doesn't. He might not want to go back, or Stroud might not want him back. But where else is there? There's not many other options.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I don't know if you gave your prediction on Tyreek Hill. Where do you think he's gonna go?
Again, I don't see a great spot for him. I guess Kansas City, but
I say Kansas City.
yeah, I guess. I
I say Kansas City.
don't know. I don't know how good his relationship is with front office or whatever.
Well, if he wants to, if they both want to win, it better get fixed.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I got.
All right, I think that'll cover it. We went over free agency.
Yeah,
We had a bit of news. The Eagles made a signing finally.
should have done
And
this
yeah,
on Sunday.
we should have honestly. I didn't. Well, the free agency start is not even like a good start anymore because like
Yeah,
in the legal tampering period, everybody just like legally
signs.
tampers. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody just signs
the
like a
NBA
crazy
start is a lot better.
right because like it's actually like it's no
The
like
start.
legal tampering period or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, that'll do it, guys. That will do it for this stream. Anthony, tell the people where they can find you.
Most active place is Anthony Sorgi Sports. My name, as you can see, it's spelled plus sports on Instagram. WSJP YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I haven't done anything on there in a few months. But hopefully that eventually gets revived. Yeah, that's about it. High school hoops content coming probably tomorrow. And then
high school baseball content will be coming soon.
that's true. And I'll put out some March Madness content. Maybe dab on some pro stuff. We'll see. But high school's the main thing. We're keeping that the main thing. So yeah, go prep. That's all I got.
All right. As you guys know, keep it right here. Always find me on WHJP's YouTube. I'm always on there. Make sure you guys go subscribe.
CR7.
CR7.
Gonna be back.
No episode this week though. We unfortunately will not be on this week. We'll probably be back on next week. The Raiders have released Gardner Minshew. I mean, that's not really a surprise, but
Okay.
All right, that'll do it, guys. That'll do it for the latest edition of the of a stream. I don't really know what do we call this.
Yeah,
The latest edition of our stream. Hopefully, we'll be back sometime soon to do something similar, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.